Hi, Feminine Melanin. Welcome. Hey, can you hear me? Let's get into it. Today I want to be talking about how to attract a masculine man who will wait for you. I've been thinking about this a lot because I have opened up applications for my new private training that I'm going to be hosting next week. And so just reading some of the feedback or some of the answers or responses in the application has me thinking about this. Will a man wait? Or I can't find a man who's willing to wait for me. Men just want sex, and that's just not true. That's just not true. There's a myth that men only want sex, and I'm saying sex just because I know that things are changing in terms of the algorithms and stuff like that. And I don't want my videos to be like blocked or voided, non-monetized, and all the other good stuff. Okay, so what can we call it? We just call it the cookie. We'll just say what Steve Harvey called it. So, it's just not true. So oftentimes I think that women have there's this myth going around that men just want the cookie, and it's just not true. And I want to offer to you that a man, trying to break you down, a man trying to test you is really the least of your worries. Because if you find that you're a woman who men just want the cookie from you, you have to look at how you're showing up. Maybe there's something in the way that you dress, how your body language and your posture, the energy that you're giving out. There's something there that either just says sex appeal, or I can take advantage of this woman, or she is the fun, perpetual fun girl. And so if you are serious about attracting a man who is marriage material, you have to get serious about how you're showing up, your presentation, how you are being received, and just more intentional about how you want to show up, period. So, having a man journey alongside you to honor God with your body isn't something that you can get a man to do. Like, I got him to do that, because when I hear that, it insinuates a level of control, a level of manipulation. And this isn't something that you can just manipulate a man into. Instead, it's something that has to be inspired. Okay, so let me pause there. If you are new to me, my name is Monique Head. I'm a pioneer on the topic of femininity for Black women on YouTube, and the founder of Feminine Influence Finishing School, where I help Christian women, especially Black women, attract a man who is husband material. And I especially work with women who have been through some really tough stuff. And you turn to God to help you out, but you're still a little rough around the edges and you struggle with finding love because of it. So if that's you, welcome. I want to encourage you to go ahead and share this with one woman that you know. You know what I always say, when you share, you add value. So share this with one woman that you know who you believe could really benefit from this. And that way we get to grow the Head Turner community. All right, so I've shared this, my story about how my husband and I waited, right? We were not virgins when we got married. And maybe he should come on and tell the story one day. I don't know about that. We'll have to see. But yeah, so we waited. We did not have any kind of the cookies until after we had gotten married. It was actually the morning after our wedding night. We were so tired. It was actually the morning after our wedding night. So let me just say this. It wasn't anything that was new to me. Before meeting him with my ex-boyfriend, we had been intimate, but then I had given my life to God. I had, I guess, officially gotten saved. I don't know. But, and I told him, I was like, this is something that I really want to do. I really want to honor God with my body. And it was, just sort of an invitation for him. Now, of course, if you're intimate with a man and then you stop, of course, he's going to be like, what's going on? Tell me what I need to know. Tell me now. But I was like, no, there's nothing. This is just the journey that I'm on. And he knew, because I would share stories with him about, what was happening in my prayer life. A girlfriend of mine, one of my best friends, Mackenzie, if you were on the prayer calls that we were hosting in 2020, then you are familiar with her. But she was the one who was like, hey, do you want to, tarry for the Holy Ghost? And I was like, you mean that talking in tongue thing? And she was like, yeah. And a part of me just felt, I had gone to churches before, and a part of me just felt like, oh my goodness, what happens if I go up there and nothing happens? And I'm gonna be a heathen for life. But I asked God to remove my disbelief, my unbelief, And there I go. My spiritual language came out. So it was in that moment, it was after that, that I just felt really just so free, you know, just free. And hi beauty queen angel. I just felt really free and just wanted to do things the right way, the biblical way. Now, I also think that women put a lot of pressure, too much pressure on a man to keep you holy. Women put a lot of pressure on a man to keep you holy, and I feel like I'm going all over the place. So let me stop. Let me go back to my story. Boop, boom. Okay, so yeah, so when I met John, he was a cool guy, nothing major. I don't even remember how the topic of sex. Did I say it out loud? How the topic came up. But he said, yeah, we're not doing that. And I said, oh, really? He was like, yeah, you're special to me, and I wanna say that, you know, mommy and daddy waited. Now, at this time, when we first met at a networking event, he had already said, like, I was talking to a woman who was on the panel, and then when I finished talking to her, he came up, and she came over after that, and I think she was trying to hit on him or whatnot, trying to flirt with him, but he was a little younger. I was 30, he was 32 at the time. And she was like, you like her, don't you? He was like, yeah, I like her. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna marry her. And I'm like, these men out here will say anything. Of course you're gonna say that, because I'm me, you know, I'm feeling myself. But not really, because a lot was happening. I had just found out that I had failed the bar exam. So my spirit was shook, but not too shook, because I knew that I was on my way to entrepreneurship anyway. This was what I really wanted to do. I just never knew what I was going to sell. But it was in that moment, he was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to marry this woman, and here we are years later. So I remember asking him, and I said, babe, what's going on? Why are you not wanting to be intimate? And he was like, you just, you know, once you set out enough women, I guess it gets kind of boring. So I am of the belief that if a man after a certain age, if he is still chasing women, you know, I'm sure that still excites him, but that's a man off his mission, and that's not a type of man that I will want. And typically for the type of woman that I draw and I attract, we want men who are on their mission. Those are the masculine men who practice, who have a sense of self-control. Because for women like us, we want to be tamed. We want a man that we can respect enough to yield to. And if a man is out there chasing tail, it's like, focus on your money, bruh. Okay? Focus on getting that. Focus on getting yourself in order. Focus on your mission. Because if you say that you want a helper, you say that you want a wife, this is what, you know, women, who we are. We have the same title as the Holy Spirit, the helper. And so if you are a God-fearing man, which is what most of the women that I draw, which is what, you know, I attract, they want a God-fearing man, you got to know what you're looking for. Okay? So I wonder if there's a way for me to mute this thing. I don't think so. So yeah, getting a man to wait, attracting a man, a masculine man who will wait for you is simple, but oftentimes it's not easy unless you are on your own journey. Because the truth is that the man who is for you will wait. The man who became my husband waited. The man who was before him waited. And so this is what owning your feminine influence is all about, because you reign in a position of influence. You inspire men way more than they inspire you. And guess what? Men are conditioned to obey women beginning with their mothers. But this isn't about obedience, right? Because that's like trying to control a man. This is not what we're trying to do. This isn't about obedience. What I want to impart in you is that there is a level of power. You have a sacred place in a man's. I know you're not gonna like this, but I heard Kevin Samuel say this. He's like, you have a sacred place in a man's psyche. And I was like, I say that, sir. Say that. That's the truth. I love the way that was said. It's so true that you as a woman, we women, have a sacred place in a man's psyche. And so it's a part of my mission to be able to usher you in, to be able to use this to your advantage, not from a place of manipulation, but from a place of attracting and drawing what you want. And it's going to require you to step into your destiny, you to step into optimize yourself as well. This is not just some let's hook up stuff. This is the stuff that I'm teaching, the thought work and the leadership that I have been on is about restoring marriages, because I believe that we women are the keepers of that happy, peaceful, hot relationships. And if I am not on my journey, if I am not caring for myself, if I am, if I'm not pouring into myself and filling up my own cup, then my tribe, my family, my husband, my marriage, my kids, all of that is going to suffer, because I'm going to be like, straight up bark mode, okay? And everything that comes after that. Stress, overwhelm, not feeling like beautiful. All of these things that will impact even how I feel about myself, and knocks me off my game so that I'm not present in the moment, which is really important for me at this stage of my life. So let's get into it. How do you create the inspiration? How do you create the way? How do you inspire the way and get a man to wait for you? Now, my specific signature process that I teach is called the Feminine Influence Path to Love and Life. And so there are 6 signature approaches, and I want to just share with you 3 of them. You've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it again. How we do anything is how we do everything. That's a quote from somebody that I heard, but I believe that there's some truth in that. So, number 1. In order to inspire the way, number 1, you have to get clear. You have to know your vision and your values. Why are you waiting? You know, why? What's your reason for that? Is it just because, oh, God told me this is something I should do because the Bible says so? Well, is that, not to say is that good enough, but is that a strong enough reason to keep you going? Because out of obedience? Like, don't get me wrong, obedience is better than sacrifice. I'm just saying that you have to have something that's going to motivate you, because if you see one who really tickles your fancy, honey, hey, it's going to be a struggle, okay? All right, so you want to understand why, yes, why are you waiting? And why would anybody want to journey along with you on this path of waiting, like on this journey of while you wait? Maybe you're going down maybe you just want some more clarity in your life. You want to feel like you are tending to your inner landscape, that you are strengthening who you are, strengthening and deepening your relationship with God. And the way to do that is through fasting. Typically, fasting through food, but also fasting from intimacy. That will present such a level of clarity, because even I remember in my relationship, there were moments when I was like, I see you, sir. I don't know. And there were other moments where I was like, yes, I see you. I know. But there was never any distraction or thrown off because of the chaos that sexual intimacy can bring. Right? Just the blurred vision, the not seeing clearly, the creating excuses or even overlooking the red flags. So get clear. My first step for you is to get clear on, if you are a woman who is in right now, you desire a masculine man, but you also want to honor God with your body. You have to get clear on your why. Why are you doing this? And what are you hoping to get at the end of the journey? Or maybe at the beginning of the next phase of the next level. What is that going to be for you? Because as I said before, so many women get so distraught, especially when there are other men in the church who are in the church or not in the church, whatever. Just men who are leaders, and you're like, I hear, I can't believe he wanted to, he tried to do this to me and tried to do that. Unless he's a married man, I get it. He's out of order. But you heard me say this. You should expect men to want to find you attractive, You should expect that. And of course you want to exercise discernment. But don't put it on a man to be the one to keep you holy, okay? That goes into number 2. Step number 2 is conquer your inner game. And I'm saying this because oftentimes when we're on a journey, we like to say, I ain't doing nothing with you. I'm not doing that. I don't do that. And you let it know from jump. And I'm like, why? Move in silence. Keep your mouth closed. This is not something that has to be revealed until it's time to be revealed. For me, I didn't have to, I didn't say anything. It was him who saw something in me. He saw the feminine influence that he valued within me, that he wanted to keep sacred, that he wanted to hold as precious, that he wanted to say, hey, listen, mommy and daddy waited because he had a vision for us. I attracted a man who was on his mission. I attracted a man who was a visionary. I attracted the man who I could yield to his leadership, and that has been a struggle. This is why I do this work, right? Me coming as, a very self-sufficient, ambitious woman, coming into agreement with the man. Of course, there were moments where we, butt heads. But even outside of that, there's something about me, because he is my person and I'm his person. We are on our assignments together, that he was like, I can do this. I can wait. And I like that, because even in there were moments where I was like, can I trust him? And I'm like, okay, no, there's nothing that it will give me a reason to be like what? That any reason for distrust. And the fact that we waited, the fact that we were not intimate was like, you know what? He's definitely serious about me. Okay, I think we could really do something. So conquering your inner game, I was saying this about not sharing this so much in the beginning, because the truth is you're going to be tested. The truth is, yes, men may try to break you down, but know that that is not the man for you. You have to step into the energy of your future. You have to step into what it is that you want to feel and experience as you think about a relationship with the masculine man. So just move in silence until it's time, and do what you do in order to be kept, through your prayers, through your journaling, through your community, keeping yourself active but not too busy, having a very engaging life. All of those are very important for womanhood. And the third tip that I want to leave you with before I go is to have fun in the process. Come on now, you can't be showing up as a prude. You can't be like, I ain't talking about come on. Have fun in the process. Show up in ways that are really enjoyable to you. Show up in ways where this is important. This is what I want to say, and I was looking at my notes as I wrote this down. Step into the identity of a woman who is desired. Step into the identity of a woman who is desired. What does she think? What does she say? How does she feel? It's really important to have beautiful thoughts and to know and to have the belief that you are a desired woman. You are a worthy woman. You are a woman who has the capacity to love, to let love in. And you know that you can handle this, staying on your journey of waiting. Before and even after you meet the man who's really into you, and you believe that this is somebody that you would want to build a life with. It's kind of quiet in the chat box. Are y'all still here? I agree. Okay, welcome. Just making sure there are people here. I'm not speaking to the ethers. All right, cool. I don't know how to. I want to maybe do a Q&A session really quickly, but I'm not really sure how to get the messages back. Oh, here I do. Okay. So I want to see if there are any questions in here. So does waiting give you solitude? That's what people need to figure out and commit to. If so, I think waiting gives you clarity. Waiting doesn't necessarily provide solitude. I don't know the official definition of solitude, but I wouldn't say that waiting creates solitude. It creates a sense of clarity by not intertwining with someone physically, spiritually, in that kind of way. Okay. Message, let me see. Hi, Shantae. Hi, Katrina. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Thank you. Hey, Javon. All right. Well, seeing no other questions later, I'm also going to be here on Monday. Listen, I want you to know that next week I'm going to be hosting a private training for women who are seriously interested in working with me, where I'm going to, who are interested in working with me to know where to find a man who aligns with your values, feel brave enough to go into any situation without feeling any lacking, and attract the man who is husband material, and then use those same skills to experience and have success in other areas of your life. Okay, so you have to, the trick is, though, it's not a trick, but you have to apply for an invitation. Okay, this is going to be next week, so you can get that link in the description box. You can go to feminine influence / application, feminineinfluence.co/application, or you can go to in the description box and see it there. Okay, let me see. I feel like I saw a couple things come through. Yeah, you know, it's a choice. Freely B says I waited in my last marriage, ended up in a sexless marriage at a young age. I honestly don't think that I would wait again, but I wouldn't discourage others. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Angie Honey, who says that you definitely have to put yourself out there in some kind of way. I call it giving men the green light. It's about giving men permission, especially in this era with the Me Too. Like, there's just so much happening right now. We just have to send out a signal. That's it. You can spark conversation. You can initiate without taking the lead. I'm a proponent of that. Okay, I see long distance relationship question mark. I don't understand. That's not a question, but if you could ask it as a question, maybe I can help to answer. I'm 42, never married, no kids. Ooh, child, I'm on the verge of giving up on the idea of marriage. Well, maybe you might be a good candidate to come to the training. But if it's something that's in your heart, don't give up on it. If it's something that you really desire, God has placed that desire within you. So think about, your contribution. That's the real question. I think oftentimes there's a tendency for women to be like, oh, the man has done this, but what is your contribution? Like, why don't you really have what you want? And not because the men are not doing nothing. What's your part that you play? So you got to get real with yourself about that. All right, going into 24 minutes. It's too long. Ladies, again, I'm hosting a training next week. I want to invite you to join. I want to invite you to apply to join to receive the invite. If this message really resonated with you, I also want to encourage you to go ahead and like and subscribe because your girl is back. Praise God, y'all. Whew. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. So, and if you have been familiar with me for some time, I'm doing a new thing. My life was disrupted, and the way my life is now, I just have to approach it from a different way. So that's the reason for the invitation, for the applying for the invitations, because I want to work with women who are totally serious. Most of the women are serious, but the way that I'm not doing like calls and stuff anymore. So I'll talk about that later on, but I'll see you here on Monday, God willing, at 10 a.m. East, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. You all have a blessed weekend. Happy Easter. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and God bless. Bye.